Move over to Africa for our next story, where a deadly suicide blast rocked Somalia's capital, killing several young recruits outside the Xero Damaayo army camp. The attacker, disguised as a civilian, detonated explosives amidst a crowd of aspiring soldiers, causing mass casualties and widespread destruction. Witnesses described the scenes of carnage, with bodies strewn across the street as panic gripped the area. Terrorist group Al-Shabaab, affiliated with Al-Qaeda, has claimed responsibility, marking an escalation in its recent campaign of violence. This attack follows a failed bombing on the presidential convoy in March and mortar strikes near the airport last month. Security forces have launched an investigation and tightened surveillance. Meanwhile, the United Arab Emirates has strongly condemned the attack, calling it a criminal act and reaffirming its stance against all forms of terrorism. Listen in to one of the eyewitnesses. We're now joined by Dr. Levi Nvu, who's at the Tushwayne University of Technology, located in Johannesburg, South Africa. Thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Nvu. I first of all wanted to ask you about the group which has taken responsibility for this terrorist attack, Al-Shabaab. What can you tell me about them, as actions by this group are little known in mainstream media?
Good greetings to you. These are the groups that have always been fighting government, and of course for simple reasons, the reasons of wanting to have access or to control government. Their fight against government has been going on for over 2 decades. What has characterized their fight against the government has loss of life, and one that therefore target state institutions. They will target the armies. They will target other institutions of the state, and in the main, they will target institutions that are mostly utilized by ordinary citizens. And the most painful part of this exercise is that even though there has been a number of attempts to have discussions going on in order for the differences to be addressed, the unfortunate part is that there is a continuous fight and attacks on civilians and other government officials. What becomes even more sophisticated is that apart from the use of the ordinary equipment of the war, or directing or being directly able to identify them, some of them would be actively involved in the Al-Shabaab, which actually disguise them as ordinary citizens. This is where the attacks on civilians will therefore take place. And of course, it therefore appears to be a war or a conflict that is difficult to deal with, because they are actually continuing with these attacks, and we do not know when they're actually going to come to an end.
Dr. Nvu, thank you very much for joining us. We now stay in the African continent, where the Sudanese